Welcome back to a brand new Clash Royale video, guys. My name is Patrick, aka Chief Pat, and today we're going to be checking out another new deck inside of Clash Royale, hopefully clearing up our voice as we go through. And this is going to be a variation of a Night Graveyard deck that uses the freeze spell. And honestly, the freeze spell is a complete game changer. No matter what card your opponent has to counter you, if you throw a freeze right on top of it with the graveyard, they're going to have something to back it up with it. And I thought I would do a little bit of trophy pushing today using this deck, and let's go ahead and see if we can make that happen. Now, we've got some really good defenses with the Bowler and the Inferno Tower. These should be pretty solid. The Mega Minion's great as well. Let's go and get into a couple of battles, see if we can pick up some wins using this deck, and start this season off on the right note. Now, if you guys saw, this season is actually 35 days. This is without a doubt going to be the longest season there's ever been inside of Clash Royale, and this means it's going to be an even better chance for us to make our way up to Grand Champion, Ultimate Champion, which is pretty exciting stuff right there. And starting off with this Miner, I'm really not that intimidated. I'm just going to take that damage and start focusing on my push over here. Now, I don't have my Graveyard yet, which really stinks. I guess I'll drop my Goblin Gang, and maybe if he has minions, I'll play Arrow. It looks like he actually has a P.E.K.K.A, which is crazy. So instead, I'm going to take that, or I'm going to do that Goblin Gang damage. I'm going to let my Bowler do work against this P.E.K.K.A as well as this Ice Wizard. And already this game's going to a perfect start. Inferno Tower is going to burn down that P.E.K.K.A, and that's going to be really good for us. Even with that right there, I think we should still be okay. I'll play a Mega Minion just in case. And meanwhile, we might be able to go for a Graveyard push right here. And let's go ahead and start it off. Here goes our Graveyard. Graveyard's going down. It's going to start tanking for my Mega Minion. He's going to give me a little well played right there. I'm actually going to freeze everything right there. Check out that skeleton damage. Only a couple more skeletons coming out of that Graveyard, but that's going to be enough to get some serious damage on that tower. And both towers are getting so low. And this Mega Minion, is going to get so close to finishing off that Ice Wizard. Let's just go ahead and play some defense and set up for another push. All right, Gary from Taiwan. Let's see if we can keep it going right now. I'll play a Goblin Gang. Obviously, the Goblin Gang is one of my counters to the P.E.K.K.A, so playing it like this is a little bit strange, but these Goblins are simply going to melt that tower, and with his Miner, only going to be able to hack and slash. The Goblins are going to actually end up killing the Miner, and that shows you how strong the Goblin Gang actually is. I keep telling you guys, it's one of the best cards inside of Clash Royale, definitely in the top 5 right now. And it is just so absurdly strong that there's not too much that your opponents can do about it. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to get a little bit crazy right here with this Inferno Tower to start chunking down this P.E.K.K.A. I'm actually going to distract this P.E.K.K.A too with my Knight. He's going to play his Lightning Spell. And okay, well, P.E.K.K.A is going to end up taking this out. That was a little bit of a cheeky play right there. But eventually, here goes my Mega Minion. Here goes my Goblin Gang. I'm just trying to keep this Bowler alive right now. And eventually, this Bowler is going to make its way to the tower. I've got 2 Bowlers on this Ice Wizard. They're playing ping pong with him, and the other Bowler is going to lock onto the tower, and slowly but surely this game should be over, and it's really just a matter of whether we're going to get that 3rd crown. All right, Bowler's going to do work. One more Bowler is going to take that out right there. And as we go for a Night Graveyard push, this should finish off the game right here. Goblin Gang as well. His P.E.K.K.A is going to drop, but we should be able to freeze that P.E.K.K.A in place. Let our Goblins do work because his Zap spell is down, and that is going to be the end of the game. Super fun deck. This deck, you know, any Graveyard variation deck is so much fun. I know the Graveyard is a super strong card, but it still is one of my favorite cards. Number 1, because it's so much fun to play. The animations are beautiful. I think it's probably the best looking card inside of the entire game. Just seeing the skeletons rise up from the ground. And number 2 is just such a great offensive option. It really puts your opponent in a bad place, but let's go ahead and face off against an angry Russian right here and to see if we can keep stuff alive. Here we go. So check out my Knight placement. My Knight placement's a little bit interesting. The Knight's going to actually make its way over to that tower, and as this Mega Minion goes down, not too much I can do about that. I don't think we're really going to be able to do too much about that Mega Minion. I'm going to have to either counter it with something else, or maybe my Inferno is going to be strong enough. No, Inferno's not going to do anything. Let's use our Mega Minion right here. And as his Fire Spirits run down the lane, what do we want to do? That's the question. What I'm going to do instead is play our Graveyard. Let's see if we can get this Graveyard going. And as this Musketeer goes down, I'm going to freeze all of this. Musketeer still has a little bit of HP. Those Goblins are doing the best job they can against, or the Skeletons are doing the best job they can against the Goblin. And that 1 HP Mega Minion is just going to do such a good job for us that tower is going to drop to 1600 HP. Very nicely done right there. And we're set up really well going into these next 2 minutes. All right, looking good. One more set of Fire Spirits coming out. Can't really do anything about that. And as those crash down onto my tower in a moment, I'm going to get my Goblin Gang ready for his Hog Rider, which I'm guessing is coming eventually. Wow, is this guy this low on Elixir? That is absurd. All right, he's going to actually end up dropping another set of fire spirits, and because of that, I'm going to get my Mega Minion ready for his Mega Minion. This guy must have some other card inside of his hand. I'm not sure what he's doing. He's going to play a Hog Rider all the way in the very back. Look at this push I have on the other side of the map. There's no way he's going to be able to stop that push. He simply gave up on that tower, and meanwhile, his Hog Rider didn't get a single hit. Look at all of those skeletons flooding in. I'm going to go ahead and just play my freeze spell, and hopefully the Mega Minion plus the skeletons and the bowler will be enough to finish that tower. A crushing victory over the Russians. GG, well played. And Aptem AB is going to go down in flames. 29 trophies. Now that's going to push us back up to Challenger 3, I believe. We had a rough day on that first day when I was super sick and I wasn't able to do anything very well, but that's going to be 2 wins in a row to push into Challenger 3. Let's go ahead and go into another battle against Duty Neum Light and see if we can keep this streak going. I've got my Knight in a moment. Personally, I'd like it to do like a Knight Graveyard Freeze combo. That'd probably be the best combo I could possibly do, or maybe arrows if we really have to. Let's go ahead and start with our Graveyard right here. Here goes his Mega Minion. I wish that I could keep my Knight alive in a second. I'm going to play my arrows onto his minion. Check out all of this damage right here. His Goblin Gang has gone down, but we're going to start crushing this tower. I've got Spear Goblins, I've got Skeletons, and it's quickly turned into a game of defend my left-hand tower for my life. And let's see what he's going to end up doing. He's going to drop his own Graveyard. Let's drop our Knight right here. We need to quickly kill that Giant with our Mega Minion. Now my tower and Mega Minion can actually help out against that Giant. Perfectly played. And we've got a half tower HP lead going into the rest of this battle. Very nicely done. Very nicely done right here. I'm so tempted to drop a Graveyard, but I'm not going to. I'm going to let my Mega Minion run down the lane. What is this guy going to end up doing? He's going to play his Giants. And, you know, I do have a great counter to the Giant, which is the Inferno Tower. And let's go ahead and drop that right now. And this Inferno is going to be crucial. I can use my Goblin Gang as well against the Graveyard if he's going to be silly and use that again. His Mega Minion is simply going to burn down right there. I'll use my Goblin Gang against these minions. The Inferno Tower is going to chunk down that Giant in a second. And I'm going to eventually, I guess, have to use my arrows. I got a little bit scared. Not sure if I had to use those arrows, but no damage taken on our tower. Let's set up with the bowler once again, and we should be able to get an aggressive push of our own in before this game is over and maybe take that left-hand tower. Here we go. Bowler in the back. I love this free spell. This free spell is such a fun variation of this Graveyard deck, and he's going to actually go crazy with all of this stuff right here. That was actually a pretty effective push. He simply has so much stuff coming down the lane. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do anything about it. The Goblin Gang is going to crush everything. All right, well, it looks like we've got a true battle on our hands right now. Let's get ready with our Graveyard in a second. And here it goes right now. Graveyard's going to go down. I'm going to start with my free spell in a moment. Here it goes. Free spell's going to go down before my Mega Minion dies. His cannon's going to start doing work against my Skeletons, but eventually this Mega Minion's going to turn around. Check out this damage against the tower. The bowler's going to start doing work against that Goblin Gang. Very nicely done. And the bowler might even get one more hit against the tower right there. And that's going to be a great start to the game for us. Let's get ready again with our Inferno Tower. Our Goblin Gang is going to clean up the Skeletons. Perfectly played right there. Pretty much no damage except for the Fireball damage until I guess this... that was a little bit unfortunate that the Giant didn't die before we had to do that. But still, 2,200 HP to 1,500 HP. How are we going to pull this one out? All right, Mega Minion versus Bowler. Let's go ahead and see if we can clean all of this up. And here we go with the Graveyard once again. And the free spell is going to be what we need. He plays a Goblin Gang. That's an aggressive Goblin Gang right there. I'm going to drop my freeze onto the minions rather than play it onto the tower. Here go our arrows. Clean up these minions right here, and the Skeletons will finish off the game. Ooh, all right. That was a little bit closer than what I thought, but we still eked out a victory. 31 trophies. Let's just go ahead and do one more battle. We crushed it in those first two. One more battle to see if we can keep climbing our way up to Master. And again, the season grind is back alive, and this one's going to be longer than ever. And hopefully we're going to be able to squeeze this one out. I think actually this season ends in the beginning of June, and I have nothing planned for the first week of June, so that would be perfect if it ended then. I'd be able to go on an epic try-hard push, which is perfect timing considering they just announced that the Crown Championship League. Let's go ahead and start with our bowler. He's going to play Skeletons. Might need to play our Hog Rider or something like that. I'll play the Goblin Gang. Hopefully he doesn't have Zap. Got my Mega Minion ready just in case. Okay, he does have Zap. Let's play our Mega Minion to clean that up. Hog Rider's going to eventually die, and not the perfect start to the game, but I'm actually going to go crazy right here. Let's go with our Graveyard on this side over here. He split his archers. Okay, he split his archers. We've got our Mega Minion running down the lane. Everything's doing what it can. And I don't think... Oh, he does have a Zap in rotation. That's unfortunate. So we're going to take a little bit more damage than what we wanted. But if he plays a Hog Rider, I've got my Inferno Tower ready in a moment. Let's go and do the Inferno to stop the Hog. There it goes right there. Very nicely done. If he plays a Zap, it's not going to do anything. So I was really hoping he actually would play a Zap. All in all, not the best start to the game for us. We had a pretty bad rotation from the beginning to stop that Hog Rider, but we're still basically even as far as HP goes. And now that we know he's going to use his Hog Rider down the left-hand lane over and over, all we have to do is drop our Bowler, and we should be able to help clean stuff up over here. So Bowler is down. What is he going to do? He's going to drop his Archers. He's going to split them. Split Archers just like I used to do back in the day. I forget with which deck I did that with. Obviously, there's a ton of decks you can do it with. And he's going to cycle all the way right here. So let's go ahead and use our Goblin Gang. And, okay, that's going to go basically perfectly for us. Here goes our Bowler, and check this out. What does he have to defend against our push? He has a Hog Rider defending against my Bowler. That is obviously not going to be effective at all. Look at the Graveyard crush that tower right there. Tower number 1 is dead in its tracks, and we're looking so good heading into the rest of the game. The King Tower is taking damage. We even did about a couple hundred damage on that right-hand side. Things are looking perfect, and I might just go for a 3-crown victory if possible, and not even worry about this left-hand side of the map. Let's do it. Let's drop our Bowler here. I'm predicting a Hog Rider on this side of the map. I still have my Knight over here if we need to defend this side, but he just keeps splitting his stuff up, and here he goes with the Hog Rider. All right, Hog Rider is finally down. Everything is down right here. Goblin Gang's going to go down. Can he possibly get the damage he needs? Hog Rider's getting pretty low right here. He's dropping so much elixir that you guys know what's about to happen. We're going to drop our Graveyard right on top of this King Tower, and in a moment, the free spell is going to drop. The free spell is going to stop the towers, but the Archers are probably going to have too much damage for us to do too much damage. Too much damage to do too much damage against that tower. And look at this Knight versus Bowler. It's bouncing off him like a bowling ball right there. And just a couple of seconds left on the clock. The Inferno Tower is going to be what we need. He's going to cycle through his everything else that he has. This guy is ridiculous. Bowler's going down. He just simply doesn't have the firepower. And the amount of stuff that he's playing in different lanes is ridiculous. So you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and let everything go down right now. I guess the Hog Rider might even get close to finishing our tower, but the Graveyard is still doing work on his King Tower, guys, and that's going to be the end of the game. GG, well played against Zest. And that will be the end of the battle. Very nicely done. Some good wins today. 29 trophies for this one right here. A magical chest for our spoils. And that is going to be the end of this trophy push. We're at 4682, number 517 in the world. Not terrible for our very first push of the season. We really only needed to win a couple of battles to get there. And guys, that is going to wrap it up for this episode. Try this deck if you haven't already. You guys, the Graveyard's just so good. Even if you can get a level 1 Graveyard to use at tournament standard, it's such a beast inside of tournaments, as well inside of the Crown Championship whenever that appears in the game. You guys are going to want to try it out and make sure you can find a good deck to do it with. Try this one out right here. The Graveyard Freeze is a brutal combo. It steamrolls towers, and that is going to do it for this episode. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you smack that like button. Until next time, I will see you guys later. Peace out.